Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'm going to be doing a review for you of the Umarex MP5K. So I'm going to kind of change up the way I do my video for any type of airsoft review. So I'm going to include a little more detail in there, and you guys can maybe let me know if this is something you think is cooler or if I should go back to my old ways. But it's going to be a little bit of a different type of review the way I have it set up. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Just to give you a brief history of the heckler&koch MP5, basically it was a gun that began its service in 1966 and is still used to present day. Basically the design came from right around the year of 1964 through 1966, and right now it's being produced from then up until now. There's different types of variants for the MP5. The one you're seeing here is the MP5K. So this one's definitely going to be the lightest of the lineup that they've produced. Basically for the cartridges that it fires it's going to use a 9x19 millimeter parabellum round, and it is also used a 10 millimeter auto and .40 Smith & Wesson. It is a roller delayed blowback, which is basically a closed bolt system, and rate of fire is pretty quick for the MP5. It is right around 800 rounds per minute, and depending on what kind of series it is, it does vary for what MP5 that it is. Muzzle velocity for this one is right around 400 meters per second, which is right around 1,300 feet per second, and that's going to be for mainly the regular MP5s, whereas the MP5K is a little bit less, about 375 meters per second, or about 1,230 feet per second. The effective range on it's going to be fairly small, being that the barrel length is short, but right around 328 feet or 100 meters. So basically it can have either 15, 30, or 40 round magazine, and the sights, of course, are fixed. Alrighty, so getting into this review, again, it is going to be reviewing the, it's the H&K branded MP5K by Umarex. So basically I'm just going to talk about, if you guys see my videos in the past before, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the gun itself. Obviously list what comes with the gun, everything stat-wise, and then of course pros and cons. So I guess what I'm going to just go into now, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the actual gun itself. Basically it's going to be for the velocity of about 280 feet per second, and that is with the 0.2 gram BBs. Also, with this model, this is the AEG version, so all electric. They do have a gas blowback version of this MP5K, but I think that one's the WE Apache. I'm not 100%. But anyway, this one's the electric model. So this one comes with just the option for semi-auto, and then of course full auto, and then safety. So this one doesn't have the 3-burst option. Comes with a high cap magazine, which holds approximately 200 rounds. I'll get into the issues already I've had with this thing, but that'll come. The weight, it is fairly light. It's going to be right a little bit over 3 pounds, which in terms of kilograms, I'd probably say 1.5. I could be off. I'm not into the whole metrics side of things. But for this one, being that it's the K for compact, it is going to be about 15 inches basically from end to end. And then of course with the adjustable hop up that's located, I haven't had a chance to play with it, but it's somewhere you can access it through here to get that hop up adjusted. So basically everything is pretty easy on this one. For the price that you're going to pay for this, I ended up purchasing it from eVic for probably about $100 or so, due to some promotion that they had back when I purchased it. So it was a fairly good deal. The price is fairly low, but there's always a reason for low prices, and I'll kind of dive into that further. So one of my favorite things about this MP5K is just in general, just the MP5. I've always loved it as a submachine gun. It's definitely been a favorite of mine. I've always been a fan of the compact version. Basically, I got introduced to an MP5K, of course, was through a video game, which was the first Black Ops. I kind of always had a love for the gun after the game. I just love the way it looks. I love the handle for it, and it's just compact, and it's just so perfect. The only thing is with this, it's gonna be mostly all plastic. It lacks very much a lot of metal. It doesn't have any, barely. So basically, what you'll have for the metal is gonna be just the magazine itself, and of course any rivets and screws. This little loop here for the lanyard or for the sling is metal. The loop here is metal. The sights are going to be plastic, and charging handle, of course, is plastic. And it's, I'll get into the good and bad stuff in a bit. And then this little piece, of course, is metal as well. Everything else is plastic, aside from the metal screws and rivets, the magazine, this little piece, the loops. Everything else is plastic. And that's kind of one thing I really did not expect with this gun, because I do have a Umarex MP5A4, which of course is much higher quality, and that thing is basically all metal. But this one definitely lacks that. So, of course, being that the price range is so low on this, you'll kind of get an idea why when you pick one of these up. I mean, again, it does feel nice, for the weight, but mostly the weight's coming from the gearbox. You'll definitely feel it very heavy towards this end, of course, as opposed to anywhere else. And kind of another pet peeve of mine is this ridiculously huge flash hider that they have that's just, bright orange, which I know it kind of looks a little ghetto with how I masked it off. I'm going to just do this over and repaint it, but I just haven't had time. I have not for the life of me been able to remove this thing because it's all plastic, and my main worry is trying to, remove it and accidentally snap something, which of course I'm trying to avoid to make sure that doesn't happen. But preferably I would love it for this piece to be gone, because that's the look that I'm really going for. So if you guys actually have a method to get this removed, please let me know, because I'm dying to get this taken off. And then I'll saw the barrel down so then it matches, because I think the inner barrel goes all the way out to here. So I'm not too sure on that. And then another thing that I really dislike is the charging handle. It is made out of the most flimsiest, material possible. It's barely, like, you can see that's the stick battery that goes in there, which I'll talk a little bit more. And then I'm going to show you guys how to remove the battery actually out of here, and then I'll show you more of that charging handle. So here we'll talk about the removal and insertion of the battery. So with the battery, basically what you'll have to do is you'll have these two pins in the back, so they go all the way through the actual gun itself. You'll just have to poke those from the back here like that, so then they go through, and then take them off. And I kind of make sure I put this one for the top, this one for the bottom, just so you don't mix anything up. This will pull off, so it'll be like a metal piece like that. And then, so you can see the gearbox itself here. And then here in the front, there's another pin that you have to take out, so push it out this way. And then that'll come out like so. Then this handle comes off. Put that to the side. So here is your battery. So basically this is the little port that charges it, or where the charging piece is, and then the battery, of course, you can kind of use like this charging handle to push it back just a little bit, so then it'll kind of fall through here, and then you can grab it with your fingers. But the amount of effort it takes to put this thing in and out is just ridiculous. Anybody that's airsofting, I would imagine, probably just has this battery inside the gun and then just charges it from here, because if you're trying to swap batteries in the middle of a game, you're gonna have a tough time. But I'm not gonna really go into too much in depth of how to remove it, because that's just a process. But here's a charging handle. It's just like really flimsy, and you can see the battery. It's basically the storage for the battery. This whole upper portion of the gun is where the stick battery is. So if you look at my left thumb all the way to here, so it's probably somewhere here, so that's how long the battery is on that. The only good thing is that the gun actually came with a battery, because it's pretty much special design and it needs to have its own battery. So I thought that was kind of cool. They included that with a charger, but again, very flimsy. The wires kind of don't like to sit very well when you put the battery in, so that's probably what you'll come across as an issue. And then for putting it back, you just kind of, okay, so here's the handle. This piece is the front, this is the back, so usually I just kind of angle it like this, and then it'll go right in like that. Then you take that pin that you took out, and then just put it right back inside. And trying to do this with the camera around me, it's kind of annoying, but I'm failing at this so badly, but there we go. So there you go, that's how that's looking. And then basically we can go ahead and put this piece back on. This one goes for the top. And this one goes to the bottom. So basically that's how the battery insertion and removal works with this gun. Definitely not my favorite. I will definitely say that as a very crappy thing. But you know, it's just one of those little things for this gun. Okay, so basically I'm just going to summarize everything for you now, but before I do so, I did come across an issue with this gun, and it made me very pissed, because the day that I got this gun, the magazine, you know, I loaded it to fire it, you know, and everything. It fired the first, you know, like wind up of BBs I had, and it worked fine. So I'm like, cool. So I come to wind up more, and it feels very, very snug. Like there's something jamming in there. So, you know, I took it apart and everything. Turns out the little gear that's in here, and there's like another piece of plastic that helps feed the BBs. It was broken. So come to find it, when I took it apart, they had a ton of these little micro beads inside, which I don't even know how in the world that could have got in there. But basically it's like the I guess the moisture absorbing salt packets that are in these guns. One of them must have broken open and it went inside. So of course with that jamming, when I winded up the BBs, ended up breaking that piece. So I mean, the guys that packaged this, you know, did a crap job and ended up getting a defective model sent to me. Other than that, everything else works fine. But I've literally not had a chance to fire this thing, and you know, I've called to make, you know, a claim on that, and I'm still waiting on it. But to this point, you know, I'd rather just buy myself another one of these mags and get on with it. A fun fact is the MP5 A4 that I have, the magazine does not fit this gun, but this gun's mag fits that MP5. So I thought that's weird. I don't understand why it's both of the same brands, same everything, but the compatibility of the mags is just not working. So another thing that kind of sucks. I mean, I guess more thing that sucks, of course I touched on it, is the battery, just removal and insertion, the lack of metal parts on the gun, and this giant flash hider. Everything else is nice. You know, again, I love the MP5K. I love the style of it. That's a plus. The rate of fire, it's very nice actually, and it just makes a sound, like a nice, like good sound when it fires. Satisfying. And you know, I love the sights. The mag capacity is awesome. I mean, that's really all I have. And of course, the price point of it, it's a good price. But you know, there's a reason why the price is so good. The quality lacks in the gun. You know, I'd recommend this more for like low to middle grade airsofters, but if it's for something, you know, high end, you know, if you're very experienced, you know, just spend the extra $1 and, you know, get maybe the gas blowback version of this, or get an MP5, you know, the full version for the one that has the 3 fire modes. You know, that's what I'd go with. But if you're just starting off in airsoft, this one would be cool for you. Good price point, you know, it's probably easy to fix, honestly. But again, the piece is broken internally, so me being the handyman, I can't really fix something like that. I would actually need a whole new mag at this point. But anyway, that's kind of just closing out the review for this gun. I hope you guys enjoyed my little brief history of the gun and my quick little review on that. If you guys have any questions, you know, regarding this gun or anything with the review, definitely shoot me a message, comment in the video. If you guys can, definitely like and subscribe. You know, I post pretty frequent content with Airsoft, and then also if you're interested in anything car related, I do that as well. So if you guys like that kind of thing, definitely stick around, check out my channel, check out my other content that I have. But that's going to be it for today, guys. You have a great day.